All right, let's talk about something a lot of people go through but maybe don't always have the words for. Emotional numbness. You know that feeling of being completely shut down? In this explainer, we're going to dig into why that happens and what it's all about.
Does that hit close to home? That feeling of being there, but not really there? Like you're just a spectator in your own movie. If you've ever felt that way, you're definitely not alone. And that feeling, well, it has a name, and more importantly, it has a reason.
So first things first, what does it actually feel like to be emotionally numb? Let's try and put some words to it, because it's a whole lot more than just having an off day or feeling a little blah.
A lot of people say it's like feeling flat, almost robotic. You know, the stuff that used to get you excited, or even the things that used to make you sad or angry, they just don't land anymore. You might feel totally disconnected from your own body or find it's just impossible to connect with other people. It's like the color has been turned down on the world. You're still going through the motions, but the feeling behind it all is just gone.
You know, this quote from Dr. Susan Alvers really nails it. A heavy fog. That captures it so perfectly, doesn't it? You can still kind of see where you're going, you can get through your day, but you're not really experiencing it. Everything just feels muffled and far away.
And here's what's so important to understand. This isn't a character flaw, it's not you failing at something, it's actually a biological response. Think of it like your brain slamming on the emergency brake to keep you from spinning out.
The clinical term for it is affective blunting, or a type of dissociation. But all that really means is that it's your mind's automatic, subconscious way of hitting the off switch when your feelings just get to be too much to handle.
This really gets to the core of it. We've all heard of fight or flight, right? Well, this is the third option that doesn't get as much airtime: freeze. When fighting or running aren't options, your nervous system can just decide to shut it all down as a way to survive.
Here's another way to think about it. Imagine your brain is like a circuit breaker in a house. When there's a massive power surge of emotion, from stress or trauma, your brain flips that switch and dims the lights to keep the whole system from getting fried. It's a survival mechanism, pure and simple.
So, what causes that power surge? What flips the switch? Well, as you can see, it can be a lot of different things. It could be a single big traumatic event, or it could be the slow, grinding pressure of chronic stress and burnout. It's also a really common feature of depression and anxiety, or even intense grief. And sometimes it can even be a side effect of certain medications, like some antidepressants.
But here's the catch. That shutdown is designed to get you through a crisis, right? But what happens when you stay disconnected for too long? Well, that's when some serious risks start to pop up.
Yeah, that protective shield can actually turn into a trap. When you're cut off from all your feelings, good and bad, you can get desperate to feel, well, anything. And that desperation can lead people down some pretty unhealthy paths. Some people might turn to alcohol or drugs just trying to chase some kind of feeling. Others might just start avoiding everything, people, places, which only makes the isolation worse. In really difficult cases, some might even resort to self-harm, just to feel a physical sensation powerful enough to cut through that fog. The thing is, these aren't really solutions. They're just more symptoms of the real problem.
Okay, so that's the tough part. But how do you find your way back from that? How do you turn the lights back on? The good news is there absolutely is a path to reconnection. It is possible to feel again.
So the way back can really be broken down into two main lanes. On one side, you've got lifestyle changes. These are the small, everyday things you can do to start getting grounded again. And on the other side, you've got professional help, which gives you that structured support to really get at the deep down reasons for the shutdown in the first place.
Looking at those lifestyle changes, moving your body is a huge one. Exercise is such a powerful way to get back in touch with physical sensations. Reaching out to friends and family you trust is also key. And look at this point about hobbies. Just pushing yourself to do things you used to like, even if the joy isn't there right away, can help rebuild those connections in your brain. Even just shaking up your daily routine can help let some light.
Now, on the professional side, there are some really effective therapies. You've got things like CBT, which helps you retrain the thought patterns that are keeping you stuck. There's ACT, which is more about learning to accept and sit with your feelings without judgment. And for numbness that comes from trauma, therapies like EMDR or somatic experiencing can be game changers because they work with both the mind and the body to heal.
And yeah, we have to talk about medication. It can be a little tricky because, as we saw, sometimes it can cause that blunting feeling. But other times, adjusting a medication or finding the right one can be a massive part of the solution. The absolute most important thing is to work really closely with a doctor to figure out what's right for you.
So let's zoom out and put a bow on all of this. What's the final takeaway here? Well, it really comes down to a message of hope and being kind to yourself.
I really wanted to bring this quote from Dr. Alvers back because it sums everything up perfectly. This isn't about you being broken or flawed. It is a signal. It's your brain basically sending up a flare saying, hey, I've hit my limit here. Something needs to change.
And that signal, that's the start of the journey back. With the right support and a lot of patience and compassion for yourself, those feelings really can come back. The fog does lift, and you can get back to not just watching your life, but actually fully being a part of it again.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. If you could reconnect with just one feeling right now, any feeling at all, what would you choose? Just thinking about that might be the very first step on the path back.